that when we put the microphone on it, it flips over. It's a hazard of the business, right? Yes. So we are going to, I want to show you how to do this, the placemats for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's an oldie but goodie. Last time we showed it, it was 3 years ago. So we've got a lot of new people on since 3 years ago. And so I think you'll enjoy seeing this. We used a couple different shapes. We used these scallops, which I think are so pretty. Yeah, so Danae says she's having a lazy day. Oh, that would be so wonderful to have a lazy day. Yes. I mean, I have fun at work all the time, you know, so it isn't really like work. Oh, the only thing is that audit is still going on, and she just gave me 2,000. Okay, so I answered all her questions, which was like 3,500, she told me I answered. And I answered all of them. Now she wants me, so I sent them to her in folders. Now 2,000 of them, she wants me to look up and tell her what folder they're in. And it's something she could do. Can you imagine? I got to do 2,000. And it's like, if I give her trouble about it, she's going to get mad at me. I can't have that. So I just got to set my mind to it and look up 2,000 things that I've already done. So that's no fun. So I can't wait till it's over. But I don't want them to find me big. Like if I say, forget it, I'm not doing it anymore, then they'll find me, and I can't have that, right? Okay, so what I'm getting ready is I have in my hoop, I have no-show, and I have embroidery batting, which embroidery batting, you know, has the scrim in it, so it won't shrink as much as the quilting batting, you know, on the roll. So we'll have this in the bubble soon. This is the perfect size for making placemats. It's 16 inches. So, yeah, Melissa says she loves a refresher, and she was new then, which, you know, I found on my paper that I gave you 3 years ago. There was a couple steps I left out. So it's kind of good that we're doing it over again. Look at how gorgeous this fabric is. So this is the fabric that we're going to be using for the fall event. So I keep telling you that you're showing you projects that we're doing with it, because whatever you make at the fall event is going to match this. So yeah, it is crazy that I have to deal with all that. I've been audited before, but never at this extent, where they, you know, they usually, I remember them taking like 3 days at random and checking the sales, making sure that people would charge the right amount of sales tax, making sure I reported it right and everything. But this time they are making me look up every single transaction in a 38-month period. So it's cruel and unusual punishment. It is. And even a girl came in yesterday, and she worked for a big law firm in Pittsburgh where they handled audits, and they helped companies get through audits. And she said in all her years at that law firm, she has never had them go that deep as they're doing with me. And I said, well, maybe I should call your law firm. And she said, Gloria, you know, I think it's the minimum is $1,500 an hour. So she said the amount they would have to charge me. So they only deal with big corporations. So yeah, this fabric is my favorite. It is from Timeless Treasures, and it looks like a Chonga Wang, doesn't it? It's got the metallic trim on it, but it's a team of designers work on it. So it's the Timeless Treasures designing team that works on this one, and it is beautiful. And the other one that we're going to show you today too. So I got to double check that I'm getting the right size. Large print, 16 by 22. Wow. You know, you probably don't need pieces this big. So after you make one and you trim down, then we could adjust it from there, because like nobody has a placemat this big, right? Unless they're really going to eat a lot. Usually they are 14, And see, that's why I went 16, 14 by 18. So, you know, maybe that's why. So I would, in case I put it down crooked, I could trim down to the correct size. So for now, we're going to use it. Hey, what am I saying? I want them to use a lot of fabric because then they'll need a lot of fabric, right? Yeah. So what am I saying? Yes, you need big, big pieces of fabric. Okay. Now, at first, I was going to tack down the ivory shimmer, but it is big enough to hoop. Now, the design that we're creating is 8" by 12". Okay, so where did my sample go? Right here. So 8" by 12". Okay, but it's too big for an 8 by 12 hoop. So, so I moved up to the 9.5 by 14. It's always an issue in here whether the hoop is going to hit the wall. So that's why I said I'm not going to use the biggest hoop, the 18" hoop, because with my luck it will hit the wall and ruin everything. So, okay, so I decided that I am going to hoop the ivory shimmer. It'll just hold it nice and it won't be flopping around, so it'll be easier for me to handle. Okay, there. Just both of these were 16 by 22, so I'm just going to lay the one on top of the other and hoop it. But now I bet I'm going to need to loosen that screw a little bit farther. So there we go. So Steve he might be doing it today. He is the judge. He did it last year. He's the judge at the Washington County Fair. Yes. He says he doesn't know how he's qualified, but they loved him last year. And so he does. I think he is a permanent judge at the Washington County Fair. So, you know, if you live in Washington County, enter something, because he might recognize stitches on our machine and you'll end up a winner. So, you know, we've had a lot of winners of county fairs doing our projects. So that makes us very proud that people submitted it and won the county fair. I'm getting a little bubbles here, so I'm just going to pull a little bit. And then I'll take this to the machine and we will get started. So Kate did put on our website the updated directions. There was just a few little things to change. Okay, so this one is not from the Mastering IQ Designer book. This is one of ours. And Kate puts the free instructions on the website. But if you buy our fabric kit, you will get the instructions printed out for you in the kit. So, yeah. What is he judging? It's sewing projects. That's all I know. So I think clothing, home deck, and quilting. He is the sewing, the judge for everything related to sewing. Yes. So, and he enjoyed it last year. He did. So, yes. So I know that is awesome. So he kind of feels honored that they picked him. So that's good. All right. So now I'm going to put this in. And the other thing I didn't get a chance to do is I did put a brand new bobbin in, but I didn't put a new needle in. So I'm just going to take 1 second and get a new needle in here before I get started. And then we will start. And I'm going to put the 9014 embroidery needle in because we're going to be sewing through so many layers. And I do like to have a new needle in when I start a new project. You know, they say troubleshooting. First thing you do is change your needle. Second thing, clean out your machine. Make sure, rethread. But I just like to, who knows, you know, here we have so many people sewing on different machines and I don't know what they've sewn on, so I like to start out with a new needle.
Melissa is asking, do any of the Baby Lock quilting machines have a built-in stitch regulator?
Yeah, yes, well, no, not built in, but the new machines, so the Radiance does, and it was hinted to us that they're going to introduce a machine at the end of August that comes with a stitch regulator, so not built in. Like the Bernina 990 has it built in. Okay, the Grace machine that Steve's been showing has the stitch regulator built in. You don't have to put a special foot on. So it's really nice not having to put a foot on. So yeah, so it just makes everything easier. Okay, so I got my paper ready. And I think it is. So Kate, am I in a good spot here with the camera? I might have bumped it, but I'm good. Okay. Okay. And I think it's better for me to use my finger because, you know, when I run my mouse over buttons, all these words pop up and it gets people mixed up. So I'm just going to unplug the mouse. Now, if I'm here by myself and not doing the class, I always use a mouse. It's just easier for me to select things. I may switch back and forth. In case I have to erase something, I do much better if I have a mouse. Okay, so the first thing that, you know, when I was planning this, I said, what are the steps that I need for this? And okay, so the first thing I need to do is tack down my ivory shimmer. Okay, tack that down, then add the fancy fill. Then my next step is to tack down. I need a tack down for the rust shimmer to make the scallops. Then I have to create the scallops. That's another step. So I have to tack that down with a straight stitch, trim away, then go over it with a zigzag. Then I need to lay a piece of this decorative fabric over, do a straight stitch, then snip away, then do the candle wicking stitch. So how many steps is that? So that is 1 for tack down, 2 for fancy fill, 3 for tack down of the rush shimmer, 4, so tack down and tack down the scallop with straight stitch. So I lost count already. So tack down ivory, fancy fill the ivory, tack down the rush shimmer, satin stitch the rush shimmer, tack down the flower fabric, and candle wick the fabric. So now I'm missing something. Tack down border fabric, then trim. Okay, so I have tack down center fabric, fancy fill the center, tack down rectangular fabric used for scallops. Oh, and then I have separate the tack down for the scallops. So 7 steps. Okay, so you kind of jot down when I'm planning this. I jot down the steps I think I need. Now I'm always adding to them because I forget a step, you know, so I go, oh darn, I forgot to tack this down. I forgot to do this. So I'll add to it, but I try to write that down. And so, you know, I can go over it as I'm doing it. Okay, so you will see this sheet on our website, and we updated it. So we'll have today's date, 8/8/25, and it'll be the directions. You can do this from Destiny to Altair, Meridian, Luminaire, Stellaire, and of course the Avenir and the Radiance. So you can do it on any machine that has IQ Designer, because the design in the center is just 8x12. So all of those machines have a 9.5x14 hoop. So you'll be able to do it. So, okay, so time to get started. So first thing, we're gonna go into IQ Designer. So IQ Designer, then Shapes, and Shapes is the circle and square button. So the Shapes, select the square, O1, and OK. The size. So I kind of thought, okay, so I looked up, and a standard placemat is usually around 14 by like 18, 14 by 18. You can decide how big. It depends on how many people you want to sit at your table. And, you know, you could do this as a hexagon. So maybe, you know, we'll try that out next week. We'll do it as a hexagon. So, okay. So here I need to change the size. So this is the size button. So I know on the other machines it says size. Okay. And then I'm going to change the size. So here I'm going to go up to the keypad. And then I want it to be 12 inch tall. So 12 set, and then 8-inch. So 12-inch by 8-inch, set, and then okay. Now I'm going to need this over and over again. So right now we're going to select memory and save it on the machine. So we're going to need it again. Now, line properties. So first thing I'm going to do is tack down the fabric. So I'm going to go into line properties, straight stitch, red, and okay. Then, oh, I did update my machine. And what I'm seeing already is it's easier to see the lines, isn't it? Than it was. That's what I was hoping for. So I'm hoping we notice the changes. So I was working with it earlier today, and I can see those lines better. So okay. So now line bucket. Click on the line to turn it red. All right, and then next. Here's where you tell it how you want it to sew it. Okay, so we see it's going to do straight stitch. The stitch length is 0.080, which ends up a 2-stitch length. I like a 2-stitch length for tack down. It's a little shorter, and so it doesn't, if you snip it, it doesn't pull out. So I just leave it on their default settings. So I press set. Okay, so this is, it says converted to the embroidery pattern. An IQ designer will be exited. Okay to continue to embroidery to edit screen. Like, I really still wish it would said, did you save what you just made? You better go back and save if you didn't. But it's better than what it said before. So we'll set them straight. Steve and I go to the Brother convention next week. We leave on Tuesday and we come home on Friday. Our flight gets in a little after noon. So we'll be here next Friday at 3. So unless our flight gets delayed, you know how that goes. Okay, so okay. Now add. So what do I want to add to this? I want to add the fancy fill. I like to tack down first because fancy fill sometimes makes my fabric pucker. So I like it to be tacked down. Okay, so add IQ Designer, we're on step 20. Memory pocket with the arrow pointing out, so up above. And then there's our rectangle. So select the rectangle, okay. And then fill properties. So fill, oh no, that's line properties. Fill properties. Then, oh, I don't have my pages in, right? Okay, fill properties. Then you're going to select the circle button. So it's really the decorative fill button. So I always called it the circle button, but it's for selecting your decorative fill patterns. And then select and pick a fancy fill. Now I said I use 22. Let me see where 22 is, see if it's, so 22. Oh yeah, I do love 22. And then 3, let's see, 3. Oh, I love 3, I do. So I want to use 3 because I didn't sew that one out yet. So 3, all right. And then okay. So red, and it's already on red. So I'm just going to leave it on red and okay. Fill bucket. So down here, you can see now, you can see your fancy fill in the window and the bucket below it. So this is, oh, it's right now it's going to do a zigzag. We'll probably be changing that in a minute. But my fancy fill is there, and I select that fill bucket below the fancy fill. And then you're going to touch inside the rectangle to fill it. Okay. Now we go to line properties. So it's showing a line there. So the buttons below it are what you do with the lines, the outlines. So line properties, no sew. I've already tacked down the fabric. I don't need it to do that straight stitch. So no sew and okay. Then line bucket, click on that black line. It's hard to see, but click on the black line and it turns it gray. And there, see, right there. That's the symbol for no sew. Oops, so it did do the no sew. Then next, oh, doesn't it look like it's doing a satin stitch? I don't know why it did that, but we're going to fix it. We'll fix it. So here we are at the fancy fill. Now I feel like that's too dense. That would take too long to sew out. So I looked at it and went, I think I'd like that fancy fill to be bigger. So press the 100% and then go up. And I went up to 120 before. Let's take a look at it. So, okay, it's going to think a second. That's really pretty, isn't it? So I like what I see. We could go, I mean, maybe because we're doing the show and it would sew out faster. Let's go to 130. Maybe I will stay at 130 just so it'll sew out faster. But you decide. And then now the other thing, okay, see, I'm seeing a thick black line and I'm wondering why it's so thick. So let's go. Yeah, I'm still on zigzag. So I press this arrow button. See how now I'll be editing the fancy fill. Press the arrow. Now the satin stitch is there. So I'm going to click on the satin stitch. Tell it. Oh, I can't tell it no sew. Because see, I don't have a no sew button. Let's say, okay. Let's return. It won't let me return. Oh. Let's just turn it into a straight stitch. But you double check that before you leave that screen. Okay, so here I'm going to go in and I'll just switch it to a straight stitch. Better than a zigzag. Okay, so now it's going to do a straight stitch around and then press the arrow and I've got my fancy fill. Now outline. Now from I think the Solaris on down, the outline will be on. If you leave it off, it's going to cut the jump stitches. All of those, like probably 30, 40, 50 of them, 60, 70, 80, right? So turn the outline on and okay. Now it's going to connect those and it's not going to stop to do the jump stitch trim. So that's why I'd leave the outline on. All right. Now we're going to press set. Okay. And just to be safe, memory, save on the machine. Okay. Add. So next thing I want to add are the scallops. So add IQ Designer. Now, you know, you'd be safe just not doing the scallops if you feel like, oh, that's too hard, I don't want to do it. But so you could just have the fancy fill and then the candle wicking stitch on the edge so you could make it simpler. But I think everybody's ready to try to do some more creative things. So I went add IQ Designer. So I'm in my IQ Designer screen. I'm going to go to the memory pocket with the arrow pointing out. So memory pocket with arrow pointing out. There's my rectangle. And then okay. So now I'm on step 49. Line properties. How do I want this to sew out? I'm tacking down the rust colored shimmer. So I want a straight stitch. Straight stitch. And I'm going to pick a color I haven't used. I'm going to go brown. And okay. Line bucket. So up here, it's the bucket with the line below it. Line bucket. Click on the line, so touch the line, so it turns brown. Okay, next. Set. Okay. Okay, now I want to add the scallops. Okay, so add IQ Designer. Or My Design Center, they're exactly the same. Some of the colors that you select are different, but the buttons and the steps are the same. A pocket with the arrow pointing out. The rectangle. Okay. Okay, shapes. So right here, the circle and the square. takes me to the shape screen. So this is the main screen. Then I said that looks like a waving flag for, it's called closed shapes. And I call this one the curly Q, and it's open shapes. Okay, then click on the scallops. And see, there's two different sizes of scallops. You know, that one looks like, this one comes to a point, and that one kind of curves at the bottom. So I'm still liking this one. So I'm going to click O1, the scallop, and OK. All right, size. So right down here for size. And I want to keep it in proportion. So I want to make it, now I figured this out ahead of time, and it was like, I said to myself that I wanted, I kind of had an idea about how big I wanted the scallops to be, and I wanted, I just played with it. So you go with what I'm doing now. Try out something different. Make sure you post pictures of it and let us know what you did to change it, because everybody likes learning something new. So I want to keep it in proportion. Okay, so I'm going to go here. It's at 6.57 by 0.97. I want to make it a little smaller. I wanted to make it so 2 of these would fit in. Okay, so this is 12. So I wanted these 3 scallops to be a little smaller than 12. So that's why I shrunk it down to 5.97, because times 2 would be a little bit smaller than the 12. I don't want it 12. Okay, 5.97. And to see on my paper, I put 5.97 times 0.87. I'm at 0.88. That's fine. That's fine. As long as you're a little smaller than 6 inches, because I don't want the scallops to touch that rectangle, because we're going to get rid of the rectangle. And to get rid of it easily, if the scallops are touching it and I go to erase the rectangle, it's going to erase everything. So that's why I said a little smaller than the 6 inches, then my scallops will be far away from that line. Okay? All right. So then I'll press OK. Memory and save on the machine. I just feel safer when I save it. Okay, so that was step number 72. Let me get my next paper out. Okay. Now, select the scallop with the magic wand. Okay, so if you have, Solaris, Luminaire, Avenir, and Radiance, you can come down here to your select button, and the best invention in the history of IQ Designer and digitizing everything is this magic wand. You click on the magic wand. I want to click on the scallop with the magic wand, so it selects it, so the red box is around it. Then I want to rotate it. So here is my rotate button. So rotate, and I'm going to go 90 degrees, so 90 degrees clockwise, and I'm going to move it up so the red box almost touches my black line. Okay, so maybe if I go to 200, it'll be easier to see. Oh, it's kind of hard to see, but let's move it up, and then I'll scroll a little bit, and then I'll think you'll see. Oh, I went beyond. Okay, so I'm going to move it up, move it back down again. So I don't want it to touch. I think I'm going to just go to 400 just so I can show you. And I've got pan on, so I'll just touch my screen. So see how it's almost touching that black line. I don't want it to touch. Let's see if I can. Oh, yeah, nope, I don't want it to touch. So and there we are, just one click away. So that's good. Now we'll go back to 100%. So this is what you want to see. Then, okay, I want another one. So copy. So right down here, that's the solid square with the dotted square. Copy. And you get a second one. Size, I'm only going into size so I can get to the move buttons and the centering button. So right here is my size button. Size. Click on the dot, which will center it. All right. And then move it down so the red box almost touches the bottom of the no-sew line. So that's going to be a no-sew line. Okay, so I'm going to slide it down. So I'm looking down there. I didn't know how to word it other than doing that, but then we do want to zoom in up here and make sure that they're touching. So there, I'm almost touching there. It looks like I'm in good shape there, but let's zoom in. I'm going to go to 400. Okay, let's see. Now see, I can't move it now. I got to go back into size. I'm going to move it down one. And it's looking good, but I'm not sure about the bottom. So there. Oh, I think I'm good. So, okay, let's go. We'll be zoomed in to 400. Pan and pan up. I'm not touching. That's good. I don't want to touch. I'm going to slide up to the top. Slide up to the top. I'm not touching. So that's good. Okay, so you understand that. I'm going to eliminate that rectangle. And if they're touching, then I have to get out the eraser and make it so they're not touching. So if I'm careful here, that's good. Okay, so we'll go back to 100% so we can see everything. Okay, and so we zoomed in and we made sure that the two scallops are touching, zoomed out to 100. Then we're going to deselect. So to deselect, you just touch anywhere in the screen and it'll make that red box disappear. Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, yes, it did. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, select the scallops. So we're going to go back to our select tool down here. And there's our magic wand. It's already selected, so you see how it's highlighted? It does no harm if you want to select it again. Okay, select the scallops. I'm just going to touch them. There we are. Okay, and then we're going to go to the rotate or size button. This time I'm going to go to rotate just so we can get to the move buttons. And then move it to the right until the red box almost touches that line. Okay, so go here. So almost touching. I can go one more bump. Okay, I'm looking good there, there. Let's zoom in and take a look. So we'll go to 400%. Can't see anything. So pan and slide my screen over. And there, I'm not touching. I'm good. We'll double check down at the bottom. Not touching there. And go up. And not touching. Now take a look. There's all these little bumpy lines, okay? And it'll worry you, but don't worry. You know, they've made improvements to IQ Designer. So when IQ Designer sees like a little bumpy line, it's not gonna make your stitches bumpy. It's gonna smooth it out for you. Okay, so let's go back out to 100%. So we moved it. Now copy it. So we're going to say OK here. Then the copy button. So right there, it's the solid square with a dotted square. So copy it. Mirror it. We want to flip it over. Mirror it. All right. Now we're going to press rotate again, not because we want to rotate it, but just we want to get to the move buttons. Center it. See how it's kind of down? And it'd be hard to move it, but see that puts it right in center. So then you have an easy time moving it over. You just slide it over. So slide it to the left so it almost touches. Now, if you're feeling like, oh my, this is a lot of steps, remember you only have to do this once and save it. You've got your scallops in there. If you want to make everybody's fancy fill on their placemat something different, you can go in, delete the fancy fill, add a new fancy fill, change the order, you know, so it sews out in the right spot. So you can do everybody's placemat different. So we moved it to the left until the red box almost touches that outer box. Okay, so okay, we did a lot of work there. We better press memory, save on the machine. I can hear Patty saying it now. So she was at her bed and she kept telling me, save, save. I don't know what kept happening. just people would bump the wrong thing or a cord. Somebody would touch a cord and then the machine would go off. It's like, oh no. And so, save often, then you can get back. Okay. Okay, we are going to erase everything except for one set of scallops. Now, what I'm worried about is in my directions, it kept saying no sew line. And I'm seeing up here, so I didn't tell it to no sew that outer. So I guess, I don't know whether I did it or not. I think I'm tired. See, that's what we're gonna, I think after my daughter's wedding, which she gets married September 6th, I think after her wedding, I'm gonna switch IQ Designer to Mondays, because then I will have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and most of Monday to get ready. And right now, all I have is like, maybe 5 hours to get ready, and it isn't enough to plan good projects. So I went into line properties, and I'm going to tell it no sew and okay. I don't think it's going to matter at this point because we're gonna eliminate that line anyhow. But line bucket and no sew. Okay, now so I want to erase everything except for one set of scallops. So magic wand. Select, so we'll select that box and then cut. Okay, one set of scallops, so I'm going to magic wand, one set of scallops. Oh, I didn't select it. There, now it's selected. The red box has to be around it. Cut. All right, draw a box around 4 of the scallops. So you see how it's going to work out? This set of 6 scallops equaled almost 12 inches. 4 of them will equal almost 8 inches. Our first rectangle was 8 by 12. So see how that, the sizing ended up working out, and maybe not so hard. If I wanted to make that block a little smaller, a little bigger, I'd have to divide it out, right? And figure out how big to make my scallops. So I kept it easy by doing it 8 by 12. And I thought it kind of looked in proportion and it looked good. Okay, we're going to draw a box around 4 of the scallops. So I'm in the selection tool. Then I'm going to press the select rectangle button. Now I can do that with my finger, but it's really hard. It's hard to see underneath my finger. So I'm going to just select out here and then do it with my mouse. So I'm going to go here and draw a box around 4. I'm trying not to select too much of the next one, but if I select too much, we're going to go in and clean it up. So 4 of the scallops are selected. Okay, move them away. So I can press my size or rotate button and move them away, or click on it with my finger and move them away, whatever way you want to do it. Deselect, so just touch your screen to deselect. Select the remaining 2 scallops and cut them away. So I can select them. See, I have my select button on by clicking and dragging a box around them. Oh, my cut button isn't there, so I have to press OK, and there's my cut button. Or I could have selected them with the magic wand. Zoom in and clean up the scallop if necessary. I can kind of see right there that I need to clean up the scallop. So I'm going to go up to my zoom button, and I'm going to press 400. I do better when I'm really zoomed in. So there, I can see I need to erase that. Now this is another time. If I try to erase here, my finger's in the way. It's hard to see. Okay, so I like doing that with the mouse in. So look at how big my eraser is. That's going to make it hard to erase. So I'm going to go in and make my eraser smaller. Here I put it on 10. I like the circle. A lot of people like the square. You can switch it to a square or use a circle. Okay, I don't know why I like the circle, but I do. And I'm just going to bump that. Now remember, go so far and release your mouse. because if you do it all at once and you go too far, the whole thing will come back again. Look I got that little dot there. Let's go into 800, okay, and see if I better make my mouse, my eraser smaller. So I'm gonna go down. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. The circle here's the button. Okay, so took it down to 3, and now it's really small, and I'm good. Don't worry about these jagged lines. It's not going to be jagged. It's going to look good. Okay, so I'm looking good there. Let's pan and make sure up at the top. Now I do like see a dot there. In the beginning in IQ Designer, if there was a dot there, it would sew that dot. Do you all remember that? It would like sew, so it would sew the lines crooked. It would, but you know, so I guess I'm used to going in and even cleaning something like that up. So I've got my eraser button on, and I'm going to click, and I move in and get rid of that dot. If I go too far, then, okay, so I went too far. Oh no, then I undo, and then try again. Okay, so here, pan, I'm going to move it down. That dot, that's looking good. That's looking good. That looks good. So it all looks good. Okay, so we'll go back to 100%. So there we were. We erase okay, then we zoomed in and cleaned up the scallop. So that was step 104. And then we zoomed back out again to 100%. So we did a lot of work right there. So we better save it. Memory, so that's the pocket. That's their symbol for memory, the memory pocket. Save on the machine. Okay, now select the 4 scallops with the magic wand. Okay, so go down here to the select button. Here, I'll unplug select button, magic wand. Okay, select them. Okay, move them to center. Remember how to do that. You can go into size or rotate and press the center button. Ooh, didn't move, did it? Move to the center. Okay. Okay, memory pocket. Okay, you know what? I think it's fine. You'll see why on the next step. So I'll say okay. And then we're going to go to the memory pocket with the arrow pointing out. And we're going to get this one, the rectangle with the 2 scallops. Okay, then okay. We're on step 115. Select the 4 scallops with the magic wand. So you're going to, moving my mouse. So you're going to press the select button, get the magic wand. It's already on. You're going to select the 4 scallops by touching it. Nothing happened. Look at that. It's selecting the big one. I think maybe because I have my mouse plugged in. Maybe if I deselect there and then go back in and select there. So I don't know. It was selecting the whole thing, and then I had to. I used my mouse instead, and I deselected it, went back in, and I was able to select it. Okay, rotate counterclockwise 90 degrees. Here's your rotate button. Some of the machines, the button actually says rotate. If you're not sure what rotate is and you're on the Radiance or the Avenir, you can just rest your mouse on the button and it tells you the name, which I love that feature. But see how they like are flashing all around? So when I'm teaching the class, it's no good to have my mouse, use my mouse. So I'm going to press the rotate button, counterclockwise 90 degrees. There we are. And then we're going to move to the top, but not touching the rectangle. So we're going to move it to the top. And we're going to move it over. So we'll move it to the top. Keep going. Just press at a time. So I'm looking at that red line, and I don't want it to touch the rectangle. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Oh, I better go down one. Okay. And then we're going to move it over till we like the position. So we're looking it over. And I think I better zoom in and look. So we're going to go to zoom. I'm going to go to 400. 200 just doesn't seem to do it for me. Press the pan button. Slide up till we can see it. slide over. Okay, I'm not touching there, but let's look at the other side. So it looks like there, if I went up, another bump, maybe one more bump. Oh, who knows? Because let's look at the other side. Oh, look at that. I wonder if I went this way. Let's, okay, there. So if I, here, my red block is touching. Okay, let's go look at the other side again. Okay, now I think if I can go there. So I'm just trying to get them so they're looking good. I'm gonna see if I go up one, I'm afraid it's gonna touch. Yeah, no, see how it's touching the black line? So I gotta be down. I'm thinking, am I okay? Let's see if anything's touching. I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay, but see, I have an opening there. So we're gonna have to close that up. Okay, so let's go back to 100. Let's get our other side in. Okay, then, okay, move the, select it. Is it okay? There, I'm just checking to make sure. It's like fourth, move into center. Okay. Yeah, sides. Okay, move to the top, but not touching the rectangle. Okay, so step 118 I'm on. Yours might be a little different. I have the old directions. Okay, so step 118 is to copy that. So I don't want to, you want to make sure that it's still selected, right? So what happens if you deselected? Okay, so let's do it. I hope I don't mess up, but let's deselect it. Oh no, I needed to copy that. You undo. Uh-oh, undo. Oh, Gloria. I thought it would select it again, but it didn't. Okay, but you will copy it. I will go in and get that set of 4 again. Okay, so I'm going to say okay, and then pocket with the arrow pointing out. The set of 4. Okay. This time I'm going to rotate the other way. So rotate. Okay, let me make sure your directions are the same as what I'm saying. Okay, and that is step 119. Okay, rotate 180 degrees clockwise. So that's 90. No, it was only 90 degrees. Oh, but see, it would have been that way if we would have copied. So if you follow the directions, but mine's only 90 degrees, but yours would have been 180. Okay, move it down to the bottom, but not touching the rectangle. So here's my move buttons. We're going to slide it down.
Susie asked if maybe you could have used the magic wand.
But see, if I use the magic wand, it would have selected all the scallops at that point. Yeah, so no, oh, look what I did here. So, okay, I touched it and deselected. See, this is going to happen to you. Oh, I'm going to have to keep deselecting or undoing until that goes away. Because if I go to select that, so let me show you that right now. If I select it, so it's selecting everything. So no good. So close. We're going to undo until that set of scallops goes away. I hope there. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay. Oh, it was select. I could have left it there. I deselected. So anyhow, all is not lost ever with this. Okay, so the pocket with the arrow pointing out. Get my scallops again. Okay. And then rotate. Mine will be 90 degrees because I messed it up. And then I'm going to move it. So I'm going to move it and then move it down. Kind of move it to center and move it down. I'm wondering where it would have put it. See, this happened to me before. It's centering my original 3 scallops, but it's not taking into account that I added another one to it. And it did this when I was doing this exact same project on the Destiny. So that's I don't know, that's something I can work around it, but that's something we could tell the engineers that. but that's far down the road. We can deal with it, right? Okay, so I'm going to get it down so it's almost touching. I'm going to move it up a little bit. It feels like I'm touching. Okay, it feels good, but we're going to go in and look at it. So we're going to go to 400. Okay, pan, make sure pan is on, and slide the screen up, slide the screen over. Oh, that's looking pretty good there. But look at that. I don't think it's touching. Oh, I'm a little worried right there. I think I better, because I'm worried that that black line is touching that outer rectangle. And so when I go to make a change, it's gonna change everything. Of course, I could just go in and erase, couldn't I? Yeah. So okay. So let's slide over and see how this other side is. And it's looking pretty good. We'll just see it and deal with it. So I'm gonna go back out. Go back out to 100%. Deselect. There, I deselected. Then I'm going to select the rectangle. So select rectangle. It's already selected. Touch the rectangle, only the rectangle. If I did it right and my scallops aren't touching, when I press cut, it's going to leave just my scallops. So see why I didn't want you to have the scallops touch the rectangle. Because this is where I'm going to add my straight stitch so I can trim around. And then I'm going to add my satin stitch. I don't want that rectangle in there. The rectangle was just for design placement. Okay, so we did a lot of work, didn't we? We're going to close away from the select screen, memory, save on the machine. Okay, now let's look at the corners, and we're going to clean them up and make sure they connect. Okay, so I am going to go and zoom in. I like 400. A lot of times I like 800. So I'm going to slide. I press pan, so I'm sliding here. Okay, now how you test to see if there's a hole is I can see a hole, but I just want to, it's like you'd say, oh, it looks okay. But if you go to fill bucket and I click inside here and it fills my whole screen, I know there's a hole. Okay, so there is a hole. So I'm going to undo. All right, I'm going to go and draw a line. Okay, so I'm going to go to line properties. Then this is my favorite line. I don't do good with drawing curves. It looks terrible. So straight line. Okay, and then that right now that is a straight stitch. So straight stitch. Right now it's black. I'm going to stay in black. And then okay. Now you can see that it's hard to see. Let's go to 800. Now I can see where I need to close that up. So I'm gonna, I have this line tool selected. This is a time when I have to do it with a mouse. So I'm gonna click here on that dot and come down. Okay, there I connected it. Now let's press the pan button and slide over. I'm doing it with my mouse. Don't worry about crooked lines. We are zoomed in 800%. Okay, there. Oh, look we're not connected. Okay, so I'm going to select my line again, and then I'm going to maybe take it up here a little bit, and then from here, oh, look at that. I'm way off. Undo. Try again. Maybe I'll go from here. So I'm trying to get that exact spot, and I didn't do it. But I still have a little hole. I'm just going to, it's going to get covered up with candle wicking. Oh, boy. No, no, no. I got to close that up. Oh, there. It closed up. Okay, so I'm happy. All right, so now I'm going to slide up. We're going to look for dots here and there. I see that's not going to really matter. If it ends up doing a little extra satin stitch, it's going to get covered up with the candle wicking that we put on. So I'm not going to worry. Okay, look at this. Look how crooked that line is, but don't worry. Okay, so here I can see I have a hole. So I'm going to click on the line tool, click on that line, and close that up. Now I got this big thing here. So let's press eraser. It's at size 3. That's going to be easy to work with. Teeny tiny little eraser. I can get rid of those lines. Now the hand tool again, the pan up at the top, and slide over. I'm going to do that with my mouse.
Sharon is asking why not use the eyedropper since it's such a small area to fill in.
Now, I never used the eyedropper. So would the eyedropper, what would have done, have dropped just like a 1 pixel? Let's just see what the eyedropper does. I thought an eyedropper picked up a color. So, Kate, you would know, right? The eyedropper...
Normally it picks up the color.
A color, so you can match a color. I never used that for drawing a line. I'll have to play with that. So that one's okay, even though I've got like an extra dot there. I think I already did the one up here. There's so many features on that I haven't even used. Okay, we're looking good now. Okay, so we'll go back to 100%. So we cleaned up all the corners. Okay, how do we want this to sew? First, a straight stitch. So we're going to go to Line Properties, Straight Stitch, Blue. So I like if you pick a navy blue, it's too close to black. So like a brighter blue, like a turquoise there, then okay. Line Bucket, click on the line to turn it blue, and it all should turn blue. So if we had a hole, there might have been a spot where it didn't turn blue. Oh, look at this up here. Do I see black there? Let's look. It's really hard to see. So let's go up. I thought I saw black. So maybe I still didn't fill in my hole, but we'll check. Yeah. So see, I have a hole. I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to go Line Bucket, okay, and just make it all turn blue. I better check all the corners. So when I drew, I left a hole. I was having trouble there. I always have trouble drawing lines. It would be so nice if they updated this so when we drew a line, it would curve real nice. Steve and I will drop hints to them. So see, I've got a little black there. So line property, so I must not have been touching. Now it's all blue. So the hand, I can do this with my fingers. So I'm just moving. Oh, nothing there, but see, remember I didn't have to correct that one. Okay, here. I love IQ Designer and my design center. John loves my custom stitch. He loves it. He's been creating his own stitches. I bet he's on the beach right now. What do you think, Kate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's there with his sisters, and who else did he go with?
I think his whole family.
Whole family goes. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so everything's blue. Okay, so let's go back to 100%. Okay, so everything's going to be straight stitch. Okay, and now let's save. So we're going to go next. It's going to do it in the 2-stitch length. That's good. Okay, set. You're going to convert. I'm good. I already saved those scallops, right? But I've done a lot of work at this point. Let's go memory, save on the machine. So if something happens and I go to do this, like if something happened and the power went out or who knows, I could get to this point, open it up in embroidery. Then I could press add, which that's your next step. Add, IQ Designer. Pocket with the arrow pointing out. Right up there. Okay. The scallops. Why are we picking the scallops again? Now we have to add the satin stitch. So, okay. So the scallops. Then, okay. Line properties. So right here, the piece of paper with the line below it. Line properties, zigzag, it's already on zigzag. Green, just because it's a color I haven't used yet, I want to make sure that it stops for a color change because that'll give me a chance to trim my fabrics away. So that's why I'm changing the colors. Then OK, line bucket. Click on the scallops to turn them green. Oh, didn't work. Click again. There it is. I don't see anything black. I was kind of worried about that, but I don't see anything black. So next. Okay, so now it's going to make my zigzag with 0.080. I don't know what that is. So we're going to go up to settings, which is that little gear. We're going to go to page 9 of 12. And the top one, it's in inches. Press it. And we're going to change it to millimeters. And then OK. So now I know that 0.080 is 2 millimeters wide. That's too narrow for satin stitch. I like it. I did mine at 3.5. I don't know. I guess I was worried if I made it wider, it might fill in that hole too much. And I really like the look of it where I cut out those holes. I did, so I'm going to go to 3.5. That's why I selected 3.5. I was worried that the 4 would make that hole too small for me to cut it out. So we're going to press OK. Now, I always did this. Before, I changed my density from 100 to 110. And I think maybe when the Destiny was out, maybe it wasn't dense enough. But honestly, it's now at 100%. It's perfect. So you could leave it at 100. If you wanted to be sure, you could go to 110. I'm going to leave mine at 100. But it's your option what you want to do. If you like thick satin stitching, then go to 110. All right. Now set. OK. All right. Memory. Save on the machine. Okay. So we got our scallops in. Now we have to lay the floral fabric down and we have to sew the 8x12 rectangle as a straight stitch and then cut it away. So all we need to do is add IQ Designer, which I am at step 158, around there. Remember, I have the old directions sitting in front of me. Okay, then we're going to go to Memory Pocket with the arrow pointing out. We're going to find the rectangle. There's our rectangle. And then OK. Then line properties. Right now, it's a zigzag. I want straight stitch, dark pink. I don't want a pastel. You can't see them. I don't want a dark because it looks black. So I kind of stay in this range when I'm picking my colors. But I want a color I haven't used it yet to make sure that the machine stops for a color change so I have time to trim it. So, OK.
Are you using the 9x14?
Yeah, I am. I'm in the 9.5 by 14 because that's all I need because really my sewing area is 8x12. So, and always in here, we do have the cabinet pulled far away from the wall, but we keep in here. It's a tight area. Those that have visited us can't believe how small this is, right? But it works for us. I said I talk too much, but we would love to have a bigger building. We would definitely love it. But they're so expensive. I mean, they are millions of dollars. But what I'm hearing is that small businesses are buying churches. So there's a lot of churches that were closing. And usually they're kind of far away from town, though. And then also funeral homes are closing. And there was one that closed and a girl bought it. And I think they said it was something like 200,000. And, you know, funeral homes are like the nicest buildings in town. And she converted it into an art gallery. And then she is living above it. And so keep your eye open for us, for a funeral home or a church. Wouldn't that be so cool to get a church with stained glass windows? There was one about 4 miles from here that sold recently for 250,000, and they all have big rooms in the basement, and we could have our store where the stained glass windows are. Doesn't that sound like a good dream? And so it's doable. It's doable. So we thought the Rite Aids, but because there's 76 of them closing around us. But Rite Aids are they're valued between 3 and 5 million, so we ruled that one out. Okay, so I went dark pink, and then okay, then line bucket. Click on the line to turn it pink. Okay, then I am going to the last page. We are almost done. So now we're on page 166. And then I'm on, page 5, but step 167 actually. Next. It's thinking it's going to do a straight stitch. That's what I want. 2 millimeter is good. So set. Okay. And then add. What do I need to add? The candle wicking. That's the only thing we need to do. So add IQ Designer. All right, pocket with the arrow pointing out, the rectangle, okay, line properties, see now it's doing zigzag, I want to change that, line properties, then candle wicking, so candle wicking, then red, just a different color than was up there, so I can see the change, okay, line bucket, click on the line to turn it red. Oh, I didn't do it. There it did. So I picked red because it's easy to see it change from black to red. Okay, then next. So next. Now originally we did little candle wicking, but it says it's 4 millimeters. You know what? I think I did this in inches. So let's go up to the gear. Let's go to page 9 of 12. Switch from millimeters to inches and okay. Okay, so that's another thing I would like them to do is have a millimeters to inches button easier to get to. So I do say that. Change back to inches and then size, because right now it's 0.160. So I want it to be about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go up to, I went to 0.252. Steve would even go bigger. So you guys can go bigger if you want. So 252. Okay. Then spacing. I want the candle wicking close together because remember I've trimmed the fabric and I don't want the frayed edges to peek out in between the candle wicking. So it's at 0.040. So I took it down to 0.016. I was always afraid of it overlapping over each other and it never overlaps. But let's pick okay. Now here's where I want you to look. See how these two corners are good. There's 1 candle wicking in each corner. These 2 corners are no good. There's 2. So let's see if I make them a little closer together. Does that improve it? So I went down to 0.012. Oh, it did. It's good. But it's not perfect. See how those 2 are perfect? I can't seem to make it perfect. Let's just make the candle wicking a little bigger. 0.252. Let's go to 256. See what happens? It's worse. So I'm going back down to 252. Okay. Oh, I have to press OK. Now I'm better. I'm satisfied. Even though it's not perfect, it's not going to show up. Okay. Now I need a drink of my drink. I'm talking too much. I do have throat lozenges in my hand.
Susan's asking, don't you have to add the last fabric first before?
Well, didn't we do a tack down? Or did I go, do I have a tack down? Yeah, I did a straight stitch. Yeah. We'll check it over. We'll check over the steps. Okay. Okay, so let's check it out. So we are going to, so we did that. So set, you're exiting IQ Designer, that's fine. Okay. There we are. Memory. Save on the machine. Okay, let's go to embroidery and check over our steps. I have 10 steps this time. We got to see what I did. I don't know what I did. Okay, so anyhow, we're only supposed to have like 7 or 8. So I don't know what I did. Okay, so let's go plus minus button. So our first step is we needed to tack down the ivory shimmer that we are going to do our satin stitch on, our fancy fill on. I'm throwing a little because I have 10 steps. So I don't know why. And earlier today I had 9 and I don't know why I did. So we'll see what I did. Okay, so we are tacking down the center fabric. Okay, next step, so we're going to arrow down. Next step is the fancy fill. That's what we want. Now we need to tack down the fabric, the rectangle of fabric to do the scallops. So I'm going to use Rush Shimmer. So there. So that's going to tack it down as a rectangle. Now the next step should be the scallop shape in a straight stitch. So no. You know what? I think I was supposed to make that a no-sew. So we'll just skip over that step. Okay, so next one is the tack down for the straight stitch to tack that down so then I can trim close. Okay, next one. See, I got a dot there. I must have touched my screen. So my step 6, we need to get rid of, right? Don't you see? I see a little dot right there. Is that the dot from the scallop? I don't know. But anyhow, we don't need that. We can either skip over it or erase it. So we'll figure out. I might have bumped my screen. Remember I was switching from the mouse. Okay, then I've got my satin stitch. Okay. Then I need a straight stitch and I got another dot, didn't I? Okay, let's see if the next one is straight stitch. So step 6 and step 8, I have dots on my screen. Hopefully you won't. I'm thinking it's because I was switching from the mouse to my finger and I must have touched the screen. So there. Now it's tacking down the floral fabric with a straight stitch. Okay, and then the next one, that is the candle wicking. Okay, so let's say okay. And let's return. So that's in embroidery. And edit. So this is step 6 and 8 were wrong. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's step 6. So that's this one right here. And I touched it, right? 4, 5. Okay, this one right here. Let me double check. Let's slide up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one right here. Trash it. Okay. Okay, so now step 8. So now it's going to be step 7 because I got rid of step 6. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. We'll just sew, and if I get to something I don't want, we'll know what to do. So let's go to embroidery. Okay, so my first one is to tack down, and I brought over 2 different rust colors. And what did I do with the second one?
There's that one.
You see one?
Oh, the red?
Yeah, I had another spool of rust colored thread, and well, we'll just use this one. It's kind of dark. I thought I brought 2 over, so I might have dropped it and bumped it under the table or something, but I'll just use this one even though it's kind of dark. Yeah, so I'll just use it. I have a lighter. I brought 2 over. Let's see, but I think what other one is too light. I was gonna have them pick. I think this one. I think right. What do you think, Kate? I like that lighter one.
I like the
Lighter, yeah, okay. Oh, good, I had it here all along. Okay, so I have my new needle in. All right. So I was going to do my fancy fill. What do we want to do the fancy fill in? Do we want to do the fancy fill in the rust color? It'll show up really good. Or do I want to, if I do it in, I always pick the MG1. I'm afraid it's not going to show. I think I better do it in the rust color.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other one would be to pick the MG2 because I would see it better then. So what are they saying on the screen? Are they giving an opinion?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There's a delay.
Oh, okay.
They'll give their opinion.
So I'm gonna go with the rust color, even though I love the metallics. We love the King Star metallic. Boy, that was such a good thing to find. King Star metallic. It meant metallic threads breaking was over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the rust because I want to see it. Okay, so first one, we're just going to tack down. So normally I would float my ivory, and I thought, why am I doing that? Why not hoop it? It's better to hoop it. And I like to tack it to the batting. I really think I'm going to sew my next one with Bosal, and I think I'm going to like that better. I'm a little worried. Okay, we didn't bump the wall. And it always goes around twice, but I guess that's okay. I get impatient with it. So I stop it and I advance to the next color, which maybe I should show you how to do that, right? Okay. We'll let it get all the way finished.
People are saying copper.
The copper, okay. Oh, yes. I bet we don't have any. Oh, that would have been really. So I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to cut it. Okay. On my screen, I'm going to press my plus minus button. Arrow down to the next color. I'm just skipping, waiting for it to do that straight stitch. Then I'll say, okay, and I'll press start. Copper metallic, and we don't have any over here. I got all the golds. I didn't get the copper. Copper metallic. Yeah, it was in a drawer here, Kate. She's going out to look for it. Now, normally we would run over to John or Steve, but Steve's at the county fair, and John is in South Carolina. I think Tommy's helping Ryan down in shipping. We have a new guy starting in shipping. He's going to be full-time, so we're going to have, see, we're losing our college students, which means we lose Alex, Lizzie, Elena. Who else are we losing? Is that all we're losing? Those three, maybe. We love it when the college students come for the summer. And we're losing them next week, I think. It will be probably their last week. Maybe even this week is their last week. But they'll come home, they'll be home for Thanksgiving. And I think the way Christmas lands this year is the reason why schools are starting so early this year is because Christmas and New Year's are on a Thursday. So the way it hits, no, we don't, oh, bummer. Next time we'll show you the copper, but copper metallic would have really made these nice. I'll sew out another one with the copper metallic. Now see, when I was new to it, I wanted, I have this batting that's kind of light. And so I wanted, I left the fabric in to make my placemat lay more stable, but I think if I used, I think I probably would be better off with the heavyweight fusible fleece or 2 layers of this batting, right? 2 layers of the batting would have been good, or the Bosal. So it's looking, so this is where you just have fun watching your wonderful machine go. And this is why you bought your machine, right? So maybe we will show them some products while it's sewing and we'll check on it. It seems to be sewing at the highest speed, but I do want to check that. I'm going to go up to the settings, and it's going to make the machine stop whenever you do that. So I have to press it again. Embroidery foot height, that's all it, oh, it's at the fastest. So yeah, I can't go any faster. So
Well, it
I'll
looks
do,
like this.
oh yeah, but that doesn't regulate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only in sewing does that
Gotcha.
change it. Yeah. Okay. Imagine we want it to sew even faster. Oh, it's looking so good, isn't it? I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, Anne said she's getting her things quickly. Okay, so we've been doing bargains on inventory that we have here. So we have suppliers that ship to us. Oh, the Kimberbell trays. What are the Kimberbell trays? Do you? Okay, Kate's going to check. But anyhow, those shipments are going to go out fast. The bargains because we have it in stock. So yeah, it is a beautiful design. Do your placemats. Now remember, I should have shown you this while we were over there, but you can, before you take it out of the hoop, you may want to put an initial in the center. You may want to put an embroidery design in the center. So you can add to this. I think it's pretty enough all on its own, right? But you can add to it. Oh, these trays. Now so the Kimberbell trays, these are really nice. So they store flat. Okay, they already have the snaps in them. At Kimberbell, they know what they're doing. Okay, you can embroider on them, and then you snap these together, and then you've got the trays. And this is the colors available now are the navy and the aqua. Coming out really soon was red and one other color, and I forget, red and tan. So you have to wait on the red and tan, but we can get these right away. So you can embroider right on them. So that's what Kathy wanted. So
I'm putting it in the lineup.
okay, yeah, she's going to put it in the lineup. Okay. All right. So we have, I guess the first item we have is the Scalloped Placemat kit we'll start at the beginning. I always do better starting at the beginning because then I forget, where I was. Okay. So that is Mastering IQ Designer. So that book is what taught me how to do IQ Designer. I can run over and get, I almost bumped my hoop. Okay, so I say I want to make a cover for my book because I've used it so much that hey, we could do a bargain on that. I may get in trouble, but I could do a bargain on that. Okay, it is bargained already. It's regular price is $249. $299. Wow. I might get in trouble, but I don't care. Okay, so let's go 178. What, 170, 179.88. I always end it in 88. I can't keep it there very long. If you haven't bought this book, that's the lowest price we've ever had. Okay? If you're like me, I might, I've worn mine out, but I do want to make a book cover. I have to research it. See, that's a project that I need 3 days to do. So I'll be doing it. So, okay, so that's a Mastering IQ Designer book. Now, I have next the Edge to Edge Pro. Okay, and I wanted to show you this. Okay, this is, so Edge to Edge Pro is, you can resize designs. She takes you, so you know how the Solaris, Luminaire, the Avenir and Radiance, it has the built-in edge to edge. So if you don't have one of those 4 machines, like if you have a Destiny or Meridian or Altair, this allows you to do what those machines can or have it built in. So it'll allow you to resize. So this takes you a step further. So the last design that you do doesn't, 10% back. I'm still doing the 10% back. I know it's crazy. but it makes you guys buy more. And that's what I want. So, okay. So Edge to Edge Pro. It does come with a bunch of designs to do your edge to edge and your borders. Okay. I got to get to her, and because I like these designs, but I like them. I wish we didn't have to connect them, right? Oh, guess who has it? Is Kimberbell has them where the clear blue tiles, you don't have to connect those. And that is so much easier. Yeah, oh yeah, we'll ask about a new book. Steve and I are gonna broadcast right from the convention. He's gonna pack we're gonna do it with our phone, but we're gonna have a tripod so we're not shaking all around. Although really, Tommy and John did pretty good. Yeah, so we won't worry. They said that there is going to be a vendor mall, like, it'll be like where Tommy and John were at when they went to Bernina. So we're going to have a vendor mall, and we're going to broadcast right from there. We always do every year. So it's really fun. So Stephen, but anyhow, this book not only has the edge to edge, but has the borders built in, and it comes with a bunch of designs, and you can resize them. Okay. Now, Edge to Edge Pro, they do make packages that you can add on to it. Okay. And I really like this one. So look at this one. This one you can do blocks. Oop, I'll lay it down here so she can get a good view of it. Okay, there's nowhere on this one where you have to connect it. Okay, you'd fill in like your 6-inch blocks, 8-inch blocks, 10-inch blocks, and you don't have to connect it. Okay, same thing here. This one, this one, this one. Okay, no connecting on any of these. So you do your borders, and you just make sure that your next group is right next to it. So you'll use your camera. Okay, so even if you own, now I don't know whether you have to have this book in order to do this. More options for quilting. Use these designs with the techniques and embroidery toolshed software from our Edge to Edge Pro book. So I guess if you want to resize these, but we have resize built into our machines. So I'm going to have to but I don't think you really need the book. I think you could go with just the designs. And see, these are really good, and you can resize them on your machine. Some of them connect, but like the circles don't connect. Here you can connect them, or you could just put the next one right close to it. So yeah, somebody's asking about classes, and I was supposed to give classes, like I was already in the spring. I said I was already planning IQ designer classes right here. We had setups where we could set up 6 machines. And then this audit started, and honestly, it's just taken up every spare second. And then also, there's a big issue that I got to get solved, and that is the Pennsylvania government. Somebody out there might know, but they said, when I open up a machine and I let customers use it, they said that I have to pay the sales tax on the machine that we use. I have to pay it on the machines that we use in the classroom. And I said, well, we're going to sell those, and then you'll collect the sales tax. Well, they said, when I sell it, they want the consumer to pay the sales tax too. And this is where I feel like this is wrong. Doesn't it feel wrong? Somebody look it up and research it for me. Use tax. So they said it's like car dealers pay use tax on all their cars. And so I called a car dealer. I know somebody that's a regional manager, and he said they pay use tax when they send someone home with a demo model. But on all those cars out in their lot, they don't, and they take people on test drives. And I said, using a sewing machine for a class is like taking a test drive. So somebody help me and find out. My lawyer is going to research it for me. But I know I had a customer that she's worked for a law firm her whole life, and she said she's never, and the law firm handled audits, and she said she's never seen an audit go into the detail that my audit is. Wouldn't you know, I'd be picked for this kind of double dipping. I know. That's what I want to say to her. I didn't say that because I thought, I do think of double dipping as like you take your chip and then you dip and you bite and then you dip that same chip in. And so that's double dipping to me, but double dipping, yeah. Deborah, you're right. It's wrong, don't you think? The state, yeah, a tax attorney, which my lawyer is researching it for me, and if he feels I need a tax attorney, but then that's who we'll go to. We'll appeal and we'll go to a tax attorney. But tax attorneys are like, tax attorneys are like, I know they're over $1,000 an hour. Yeah. Yes. So the one I talked to was $1,500 an hour, and he said depending on that's his minimum is $1,500 an hour. So see where I am? See why I'm nervous all the time? Yeah, I got it. I'll get through it, and we'll just see what happens. But I did say to them, if you're doing this to me, you better be doing it to every business across the whole state of Pennsylvania. Because to single me out and make me pay you use tax, and not every, like let's say every sewing machine dealer across the whole state, it sounds like you got to do it to everybody, or it puts me at a big disadvantage. Yeah, that's what somebody said. I called my representative's office. They wouldn't even talk to me. But somebody said I need to walk in. So that's what I'm going to do on Monday. I'm going to go into my representative on Monday. But I called, and it was the girl who answered, and she said, we can't help you with that. And she wouldn't even put me through. She wouldn't even take a message, didn't even take my name, nothing. So, but my daughter says I need to walk in. So I'm going to walk in on Monday. So, yeah. If a tax attorney can save me thousands more, then I have to go get a tax attorney. Yes. So you guys have to keep spending money, okay? Because I have a feeling that is what I'm going to have to do. Okay, I got a neat project here. So this is a kit to make this table runner, okay? So I think some people got this with their machine, but we were able to get some extras, and we have it on bargain, okay? And it's only, I think it was regularly like $45? $75 regular. Oh my good. And I have it, all the fabric you need, plus a cute little seam ripper, and we have it down to $24.88. So you'll make this table runner, and I forget, I think it's Gudrun Erla's fabric from Riley Blake Designs. So original price $75. Every piece of fabric is in there, and we have it marked way down to $24.88. So we're bargaining. Wrong and unfair. Deb Emerson, I agree. But what can I do? And I think Judy's right that I did talk to the auditor's boss. I did. And I talked to her boss. And I said, it's cruel. It's cruel what they're making me do. So I already went through, I think it was like almost 5,000 transactions, and they sent me back 2,000, and I answered their questions. Now I have to look up the 2,000, and I have to find what folder I sent them to them in, and I have to put it in an Excel spreadsheet, what folder they look in to find so I was able to find all the transactions where we shipped out of state, so they're not taxed, and things like that. They bought gift cards. A gift card is not taxed. But now they want me to do it again with 2,000 transactions. So you know who's being hurt by this? You guys, because I don't get to give my classes in the store. They're down a whole person when I'm not here. So anyhow. So everybody pray for me, honestly. I guess I need prayers. I need something. Okay, but anyhow, really cute, right? Really cute, really good deal. I've been seeing people posting on Baby Lock's website when they finish this table runner. So yeah, so I need a fighter to come with me to well, I'm going to. The next time I meet with them or I talk with them, I'm going to make sure my lawyer and my accountant is present. Oh, this is so cool. So we are, okay, so Moda came out with this fabric again, few different prints than we had before, but this was the hot seller last year. We do have the fabric. I think it came in today, and it's called Nantucket. But Tommy digitized the design. Now I wrote down, because he told me, okay, so this is the new design. So this was last year's design, okay? So this is the new design, and we did this table runner with it. Oh, here's my spool of thread that I lost. So I guess I still like what we picked. Well, wait, I could switch to this if I don't know. We're gonna make them pick. My spool of thread is there. So this is what we said we like the lighter one. We may like this one. I kind of like that one. Like that. Yeah. So we'll do the scallops in this one. Okay, I'm gonna put this one off to the side and this one here so we know. Oh, it's looking so good. Okay, so this is the table runner that we made, and we're gonna have kits available for this. So this is the table runner that we made last year, okay? And we said to Tommy, well, the pattern this year doesn't have any leaves. Well, you could do it as just 5 flowers, but what he's gonna do is do a leaf design to add to this one. So you're gonna be able to do the quilt, you're gonna be able to do a table runner, and you're gonna be able to do a table runner that has the flower and the leaves. Okay, that's going to be on the flash drive. Now, what else is on there? So he's doing it in 7.5. So he's doing it so it fits in the 8x8 hoop. So it's actually going to be, the flower is going to be 7.5 by 7.5. So it fits in the 8x8. Then it's also, he's going to do it 9 by 9. So it fits in a 9.5 by 9.5 hoop. And then he's going to do it 10 by 10. So it'll fit in a 10.5 by 10.5 hoop. Okay, so 8x8 hoop all the way up to 10.5 by 10.5, all languages. And he's also he's gonna have a flip and sew version. So there won't, it'll be piecing. It'll be piecing in the hoop, or satin stitch version. So easy is satin stitch version, but he's gonna have a flip and sew. He's going to have a flip and sew version. So he's already has them. We have to sew them out. See, he got them done, I guess, yesterday. Yeah. And but we didn't have time to sew them out. So, okay. So that's what you get. And then also in the on the flash drive that you're going to get, it's going to have the instructions for how we did the table runner, like how wide we did the borders and how big we cut the fabric and everything. So that will be on there. You will get this pattern. So if you want to do the whole quilt, you can. So you will get this pattern. Okay, this was last year's pattern. We still have some of those if you want to get last year's design. We'll show that next time. Last year's. Okay. So now what do we have?
We'll show the other kits first before anything.
Okay.
Because it is 5 o'clock. Just letting you know that. So we can keep track of time.
Okay. What time is it?
5 o'clock.
Oh, is it? Oh my goodness. Okay. So what should I do? Should I sew? Because next will be it's
the scallops, right?
Yeah, so maybe the scallops, if I just lay the fabric down, or should we finish next week? So I do have on the instruction sheet, I don't like to keep them too long. They do have, what did I do with my papers? Oh, here, okay. So I have step 1, rectangle tack down, hoop no show on the bottom, then batting, fusible fleece, ivory fabric on top. So that's step one, it's just did the rectangle. Step two, it's doing right now, which is the fancy fill. Next, you're gonna take, and in the instructions, it tells you how big to cut the, here it is right here, the rushed shimmer. And so on the rush shimmer, we cut it 10 inch by 14 inch. So you're gonna lay that down. The next step is gonna tack it down with a rectangle, okay? And then then it's just, you're gonna leave it in and you're gonna sew the scallop. Then you're gonna snip, snip, snip it away. And it looks really pretty if you snip away inside here. So one of them we didn't snip away inside, and this one we did, and we did like it better with it snipped away on the inside. Okay, so all right, and then yeah, use tax. Everybody study it for me. Find out what it. I've heard of it. Okay, so she even said to me, okay, when you sell somebody a gift card, do you give them something with it? And I said, yeah, if they walk in the store, if we have coffee mugs, we put the gift card in a coffee mug and they get a coffee mug. She said, if you give anything you give away, you have to pay, I have to pay the sales, the consumer doesn't, me, I have to pay the sales tax on the coffee mug. And I went, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep track of that? Every time we give a coffee mug away, we have to keep track. And then I remembered, I pay the sales tax. When I buy the coffee mugs, I pay the sales tax. And so I said to her, oh, I pay the sales tax. And she said, okay, then you're okay. So, as long as I pay the sales tax on the giveaway, I don't have to pay it again. So I just have to make sure that I do that. So, yes. But can you imagine having to keep track of every pen you give away? Yeah. Okay, now here's the other one. She said, my Gloria bucks. The Gloria bucks should be, I hope I'm not boring you, but I mean, it really is just such a huge concern of mine. I have no idea what they're going to do to me. Right now, if Macy's gives you $10, like you earn the $10, or Talbot's, you can earn $25. Okay, and you buy something that is taxable. So in Pennsylvania, we don't pay tax on clothes, but if we buy like a purse from Talbot's, what they do is Talbot's takes your $25 out before they figure out the sales tax. And Macy's does the same thing, and Kohl's does the same thing. When you have Kohl's cash, they take the Kohl's cash off before you pay the sales tax. Well, she told me that's wrong. And when you get something with Gloria bucks, and if it's a taxable item, now you don't have to worry about it if you don't live in the state. So it's just for in-state people that we're supposed to figure out, to charge you the sales tax on the whole amount and then take off the Gloria bucks. But Kohl's doesn't do it, Macy's doesn't do it, Talbot's doesn't do it. Every place that we saw that gave like loyalty money. It's not real money, so that's what we're going to tell them. It's not money. It's not money. We're not going to, you can't, if you have $50 built up, you can't come in and say, I want my $50. No, you can't. So they should, treat us the same way as everybody else. Yeah, so why, I told her, I said, I feel like I'm being singled out. I've never heard of anybody going through an audit like this. And I feel like I'm being singled out for some reason. And I said, it's not fair to do this to me and not do it to every single business across the whole state of Pennsylvania. It puts me at a disadvantage. I said, I'm going to have to hire a person just to keep track of when we give things away. right? To make sure I pay the sales tax, or I'm gonna have to stop giving things away, right? This just sounds so wrong, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. But like she just gave me yesterday 2,000 transactions that I have to look up and show them. And I said, oh, this is going to take me so long. And it's something she could look up with the information I gave her so far. She could look it up. But it's going to take me long. And she said, if you don't do it, now honestly, I'm telling you the truth that she said this to me. I'm telling you the truth. She said, if you don't do it in a timely manner, we're going to fine you $200,000. That's what she said. So that's why I shake all the time. So I don't know. So it's not the auditor. I see it in healthcare. So you say, yeah. So it's really, they really, yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's unreal, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't know. I remember a girl that worked here, her husband had a masonry business, and they were giving him some kind of hard time about something. And he ended up selling his business to his wife for $1. And he was no longer the owner. She was the owner, and she got special things because she was a woman-owned business. And so I'm thinking maybe I should sell my business for $1. Yes, yes. It does sound like I'm being targeted, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Why would I be targeted? Silly. I'm just like a little sewing machine dealer. But we did, yeah. Yeah, she works for the state of Pennsylvania. Yeah. So they, and I did talk to her boss. Okay, all right. So we're doing okay. But I better, okay, so my next thing is to lay this down. We'll just show them this part. Okay, and because the trimming will take too long and everything. Okay. So finish stitching. And I'm going to position, okay, a little bit of fuzz here, okay. And now it's just going to stitch down my fabric. I'm just making sure it's smooth. See, I had to do this. I guess I could have done this all in one step, but I do the rectangle, then the very next step is the straight stitch to sew down the scallops. My husband used to say, I talk too much. And then years later, I heard him say to somebody, she sells, she talks. So I thought, okay, he's resolved to me talking a lot. So she sells, she talks a lot. So. See, it's doing that twice. I better stay with it twice because I'm going to be trimming and stuff. So the same thing when it does the scallops, I'm going to let it sew around twice because I may nick a stitch, and but I'll have that second row of stitching to hold it in place still. So tonight I'm going to start on my 2,000 things I got to do. So I will do it. Okay, so now, okay. Now see, I have another straight stitch. I don't need that. So here I got that. So I'm going to go plus minus and go down to the next one. And there's my straight stitch for the scallops. So, okay. And remember, I bumped my screen. I must have bumped my screen. And you know, you've seen that happen. I hope those openings are nice and big. Yeah, it looks like they're nice and big. Because I like that in the corners.
Yeah, that's going to be really pretty.
It is. I love these. I don't think this stabilizer, this batting is enough. I think 2 layers of it. My next one I'm going to do, I'm going to do it again and do it with the bolsel because I'm just dying to see how it looks. I think it'll be puffier. I think we'll see my fancy fill better. I think it'll create more texture. But imagine you're making a placemat. This could be a pillow with an embroidery design in the center. So you can use it for a lot of different things. A little wall hanging. It's hard to see the thread because it matches so good. So now I know that thread really matches. And so it's just gonna go. So we'll just show them one more thing. I'll quit talking. I'll quit talking about my audit so I don't depress anybody. Right? Yes. Okay. Okay, so did we show them the Thanksgiving one? The fall.
We didn't, but it's sold out.
Oh, it's sold out. Oh, we have more.
Oh, we have more?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
I got 10 bolts of this in.
All right.
Yes. And I'll go order 10 more bolts. I whisper because often we show something on this show and like my supplier will have plenty and we'll go after the show and it's gone. So we think maybe some other sewing places are buying as we're doing. So, but I just got in 10 bolts. So, okay. Now the next one is the Christmas one. So we went with the ivory shimmer again. Okay, so this one is going to have the rush shimmer and enough rush shimmer to wrap around bind it. So the backing's going to be rush shimmer, and then you can sew right sides together, or you can do the wraparound binding, which I think I would like to do. I think I'd like to see that rest come forward. Okay, so there it is. I think it's going to be hard to see that thread. Just happened to match it exactly, right? So, but really, this is a time when you're trimming, you're going to want to lay it on the table. I can see it, but it is hard to see. But okay, so the Christmas one has the red shimmer, the ivory shimmer in the center, because we really want to be able to see our fancy fill. And then the red shimmer for the scallops, and then this absolutely, positively prettiest Christmas fabric in the history of the world, right there. Don't you think? See, Kate's agreeing. Kate's agreeing, and she's young. So it is absolutely beautiful. Here it is with the red shimmer and the white. The ivory shimmer picks up the white. Oh my goodness. You're going to have the prettiest table ever. And if you're coming to our fall event, these fabrics will match the fabrics at the fall event. So, okay, so I don't even know where my squeezy snips went, but that's what I'm going to do is just trim. I can hardly see it. I'm almost thinking, I think if I have good light, which Steve set me up with, I could probably see it. And I'm going to trim around and then do the satin stitch, okay? Then the next step is to take, and on your instructions it tells you the size, but we're going to take this fabric and lay it over the top, and it's going to do the straight stitch in the 8x12. You're going to trim that away, and then you're going to do the candle wicking, and I'm going to do it with, now let's take a look, because sometimes I'm so stuck on MG1. I'm thinking MG2. Look at that.
Yeah.
This one is MG2. It's a little more yellow. I think like that's what they use there, but I think the MG2, I do. I will try that out. So, yeah, so we will, okay. So that's your next step. And then you will cut it to size, which you decide what size. There's a range, but usually I just Googled what's a normal placemat size, and they said 14 by 18. So you will have plenty of fabric. You'll trim it down to the 14 by 18, and then you'll position that on a piece of the backing fabric and with enough to turn around to the front. We'll see it next week. I'll keep sewing next week. And maybe what I'll do, I'll start it on Bosel, because I think I'd like it on the Bosel better. Yeah. We got to see. Yeah, I think this batting, I should have used 2 layers. I still have a chance I could lay a layer underneath, and that will give it a little more thickness. but the Bosel, which is the same, you know, Kimberbell has a line of it, Soft and Stable by Annie. So lots of different brands. And yeah, we'll resume next week, because next week I'd like to show you a hexagon shaped one, right? Because in case you have a round table, you can't use the rectangular, or if you need to, my table is oval. So, you know, I'm okay on the sides with a rectangular placemat, but at the ends, I have to only have one person at the end. That doesn't work at Thanksgiving, right? So, all right. So, okay, I wanted to just show them some others because we do have, okay, so that's the Bosel. Okay, you got to have some of that. You got to have. But the next item is the Filza Motif Holiday Collection.
I've got it pulled up here.
Yeah, okay. And it has, so this is it. I know many of you have it, but I got it. I marked it way down. I'm not allowed to. So they have that map pricing. And but it has turkeys. So he has things for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas ornaments, candy canes, holly, all kinds of good things. And then it also has, oh, let me tell you, it has Halloween, Thanksgiving, winter, and New Year's. So this one, to me, if you don't, you have to have this one, and you add on the fills. I'll show you that next week. We'll use a different fill next week. So we'll do, I'm thinking a hexagon shape, because then you would see how to take the hexagon shape and then do an octagon from there, or hexagon, or there is an octagon in there too. So we'll play with that next week. And the easy things that show off how wonderful your machine is, right? Just this alone. We love it. I love those stitches. Decorative stitches are kind of fun on the sewing machine, but nothing compares to the fancy fill stitches. And so I'm hoping this summer, next couple of weeks, that when I go to Brother, and then on August 23rd, I go to Baby Lock, and I'm hoping I get to meet the person who designed IQ Designer and fancy fills. That's the one. I want to meet the person who created the fancy fills, right? Okay, now we got the holiday collection, and then we have no show, but we're good. We're good, right? We're good. I'll show you more stuff next week. Oh, do we have any more? That one bargain was really good that you showed. Do we have anything really good? I think we're good. Yeah. So we got the Christmas, and you will get, so you are going to get half a yard of the ivory, because you only need that for the center. Okay. Oh, click on that. Somebody wants you to put the Bosel up.
It's in the bubble. Oh, it was in the bubble.
Okay, she's going to put it in again. So you're going to get a half a yard of the ivory. You're going to get a full yard of the floral. Okay, so if these two, you're going to get a full yard. You're going to get a yard and a half of the red, because you're going to need this one to not only do the scallop, but to do the backing. So, or the rust shimmer. So depending on what set you get, I think you should get both. I think you should get 2 sets of each, maybe even 3, right? Yeah.
We do have the metallic threads if you want to go through that or show the set or anything.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. I'll clean on Monday. I'll go home and relax and sit there and put transactions into a spreadsheet. I don't know spreadsheets. I say these young people, spreadsheets just come out of their brains, right? So, okay. So we got the 4 Kingstar Metallic Holiday Collection. So this one has MG1, which was always my favorite. It has the MS1, which is the sparkly silver, the brighter silver. There's an aluminum that's gray, okay? It has the Christmas red and the Christmas green. So this is a really nice set to get, okay? And then we have the spools separately. So we have the MG1, and next week we'll show all the rest of the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's purple. There's a lot of really good colors. So MG1, and then MG2 is a little brighter. Not too much different. So I always use the champagne, but I think on these, I think I'm gonna go. Let's see about this one. So this one, what do you think? Maybe MG1 on the Christmas.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah, MG1. Okay, MG2 on the Thanksgiving, MG1 on the Christmas. Okay, then there's MG3, and then this is what they call champagne, brand new color, MG4. So it's even lighter than the champagne. That what we called champagne, they're calling this one champagne now. So MG4 is brand new. Okay. All right. We are good. Have some wine. Yeah, my daughter-in-law, she'll pour me a glass of wine. I'll go sit down and relax. I'll play with the baby. I'll get out my computer and just sit in the comfy chair and do those. I'm not giving up. You know, I think maybe I think maybe they're waiting for me to say, forget it, I can't do it anymore. Just find me, go ahead, you know, or something. I don't know why. But I do feel like I've been singled out. I never heard of anybody. And also the girl that came in yesterday that worked for lawyers who were involved with audits, helping people through audits. She said they've never had an audit like my audit. So I'm just the lucky one, right? Okay, I'm going to get through it. All right, I may be selling my business for $1. It's this. No, but that would mean, you know, like I would like Tommy says eventually that my job is going to be planning creative projects and finding new products. And those are my two things I love doing the most. And I think I could do that for the rest of my life. And so someday, you know, when an auditor appears, he and Steve are going to have to do the audit. And I'll just be planning creative projects. So, you know, it's not time yet because I think it's too much to lay on them. And they're both working really hard, but we're gonna, I'll eventually get to that point, right? And I'll just be doing the fun stuff. And I can't imagine ever giving this up. I've already, you know, the heart pillow that we did, I said, put us on the map. But that's when I did prepare for 3 days before. And ever since I switched from doing it on Monday to Friday, I haven't had as much time and I don't feel like I've been doing as good a job, but we're going to switch me and I'm going to come up with some spectacular projects again. Liz and I from Dime, you know, she's now Dime is OASD. She wants me to do something trapunto that has a wreath. I said, okay, that'll inspire me. I'll get it going. All right. So, all right. I am hanging in. I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to say, no, I won't do that. I'm just going to say, yes, I will do it. I will do it. Okay. So, well, yeah, I have a witness. That's it. Last time I talked to her, Tommy reminded me that I should have my lawyer and my accountant there. So from here on, when I talk to them, I'm going to have my lawyer and my accountant present. Yeah, definitely. And my lawyer's like that. If he doesn't feel he has the expertise in something, he'll send me to a different lawyer. So that's what we'll do. So, okay, don't worry. I'm going to make it through, right? But I do need prayers. I need something. I need her to relax a little bit. Yeah. She did tell me that I have to have everything done by the end of August. So somebody said maybe when you called her boss went into her and said, you have to wrap this up by the end of August. And so she laid everything on me. So anyhow, yeah. Well, see, that's Tommy setting me up with something that whenever I talk to someone on the phone, it records the whole conversation. And see, that's what I needed. So he's going to get that set up for me. and then that would record everything that she said to me, and I think that's what I need. So then, because I know I'm going to lose, whatever she told me when I tell my lawyer, I'm going to forget some things, so he's going to get that set up on my phone, I think today. So that's good. All right, see you. Don't worry, I'll make it through. Yeah, I'm making it through so far. I've been through a lot. I said I could write a book about all the things that I've been through with the business, but I said they're not going to believe it. They're going to think it's fiction, and they said this fiction is too far out there, and nobody will buy my book. Right. Yes. All right. I'm going to push forward. Yeah, definitely. All right. It's been going on since February. But I'll yeah, we'll make it. Yeah, lots of prayers. That's what I need. I don't know what else I can do. Yes, and just keep doing what they ask me to do. So I will. So okay, and I don't like that. Like she says that I have to pay. My Pennsylvania people have to pay the sales tax on that discount. That's yeah. So I want all of you to try that. If you have, like I said, a reward like from Macy's. I did it. I had a $10 reward from Macy's. So I tried to buy something, and Macy's took the discount off, then figured out the sales tax. And so if I could show her all different businesses across Pennsylvania that are doing it that way, then it's not fair to make me do it when you've got all these other places that aren't doing it. You got to make sure everybody is doing it, or it's not fair to me to make me do it and no one else, right? Yeah. Or if you have anybody I can talk to, I don't know. I don't feel like I have anybody that will listen, that will do anything. So I think if they find me 200,000, I want you all to light torches and we'll march on to Harrisburg. Okay, all of us ladies will be marching down to the Capitol building in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, so yeah, some state parties have to know they're being recorded. I bet they do, so I'll have to warn her. Yeah, and I'll just tell her. It's because she tells me things and I don't remember, and I gotta, so yeah, all right. I need to know Pennsylvania laws. Yes, I do. Oh goodness, all I want to do is create projects and sell sewing machines and keep going. All right, but we'll get there. Okay, we're going home, and you guys go relax. Hold my ground. I'm gonna try. So I think if they do something like that to me, I'll just appeal, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in for protesting. Sharon's gonna come with me. Okay, all right, we're gonna. It's worth protesting, right? Don't you think this is ridiculous? Really? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can I tell them this? I mean, watch me get in trouble. Okay, so the audit actually started 3 years ago, little like 3.5 years ago. Okay, and my husband died, and I quit doing the audit at that time. When he died, and so I'm telling you the truth. They sent me. They sued me for $325,000, and I'm telling you the truth. I am, and it got dropped because my business was in my husband's name, and my lawyer knew this, and my accountant knew it too, that it was in his name. And because he died, they're all loose. When you die, all lawsuits against you are dropped. And so it got dropped. So I thought I was home free, but then they started up again in January. Yeah. Yeah, lawyers and accountants, they'll know. So I have to call them and get this. And I want them to talk to her in person so they can hear what she's saying. Yeah, so I'm going to set that up. I know, Judith, I'm unbelievable, right? And so I thought God was on my side there when that whole thing got dropped. But then she started up again. So same person. So, oh, well. Okay. I'll let you know how I'm doing. So, but get ready, get a torch ready, okay? And march on Harrisburg, right? And Harrisburg, or maybe just the sales tax office right here in Pittsburgh. That would be more convenient, okay? The state office building in Pittsburgh. That's what we'll do, okay? All of us grandmas, right? Okay, all right. All right, we will. We're good. We're good. I will see you. Well, Monday will be Material Madness again, and if this fabric came in, we will have this on Material Madness for Monday. All right. So if it didn't come today, I bet it's going to be here on Monday. So you got to tune in at 3 because this fabric is fabulous. All right. Talk to you then. Bye bye.